Who's going to lead us?
States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I knew there was a God in there somewhere, but
And can we have our affirmation of the statement of cooperation?
A point of order, we forgot the roll call. Are we ready?
Yes.
Student trustee Parmigiani? Here. Student trustee Byrne?
Here.
Trustee Gonzalez? Trustee Withrow?
Yes.
Trustee Napoli Bellarice?
Yes.
Trustee Delphine Polk? Trustee Johannes?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Brito?
Here.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
You have a quorum.
The Peralta Community College District Board of Trustees is committed to our effectiveness as a board. Through an annual self-evaluation and the establishment of meaningful goals, we dedicate ourselves to functioning as high-performing team on behalf of the people we represent and helping students reach their educational goals. We therefore commit to honoring and upholding these commitments in words and in action. The full statement of cooperation is attached to the agenda item, but in summary, we commit to 1. Build trust and seek to understand each other. 2. Be prepared and follow good governance and ethical protocols. And 3. Model the behavior we want others to exhibit.
Thank you. I will now have Vice President Gonzalez Brito report the action taken in closed session.
Thank you, President Quinlan. On a motion by trustee Quinlan and seconded by trustee Withrow, the board voted 7-0 not to renew the administrative contract for employee number 9784. The vote was held on a roll call. The votes were trustee Reese, yes, trustee Delphine Polk, yes, trustee Gonzalez Yuen, yes, trustee Withrow, yes, trustee Johannes, yes, trustee Gonzalez Brito, yes, and trustee Quinlan, yes.
Thank you. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Move approval.
Trustee Quinlan, I have a change to the agenda. So item 10.3, consider approval of management personnel items. I'm asking to remove 2 names, Amy Mashal, Director of Capital Projects, and Dave Vigo, Director of Fiscal Services.
Okay, is that accepted by the move of the motion in a second?
Yes.
Okay, can we have a roll call?
Student trustee Parmigiani?
Yes.
Student trustee Byrne?
Yes.
Trustee Withrow? Trustee Gonzalez Ewan?
Yes.
Trustee Napoli Bellarice?
Yes.
Trustee Delphine Polk?
Yes.
Trustee Johannes?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Brito?
Yes.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Approval of the minutes. Can I now get a motion to approve the minutes from the February 11th meeting?
Move approval.
Second.
Student trustee Parmigiani?
Yes.
Student trustee Byrne?
Yes.
Trustee Withrow?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Ewan?
Yes.
Trustee Napoli Bellarice?
Yes.
Trustee Delphine Polk?
Yes. Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Brito? Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Motion passes.
We now have our associated student government reports.
Point of
Sorry,
order, we missed 3.8.
3.8, sorry. Approval of the minutes from the board study session.
Move approval.
Second.
Can I get a roll call?
Not me. Student trustee Parmigiani?
Yes.
Student trustee Byrne?
Yes.
Trustee Withrow?
Yes.
Trustee Delphine Polk? Yes. Trustee Johannes?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Brito?
Yes.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Associated Student Government reports. Are there any reports tonight?
All right, can everyone hear me? All right, so good afternoon, esteemed members of the Board of Trustees. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to provide an update on the Associate Students of Laney College, ASOC. At ASOC, we recognize that student engagement is key to a thriving campus, and we have been working hard to create spaces where students can connect, decompress, and feel at home at Laney. Currently, we have 17 active clubs on campus. We recently acquired a football table and self-seating for the third floor of the Student Center. Our goal is to encourage students to spend more time on campus, interact with one another, and take much-needed breaks. The order has been placed and we are eagerly awaiting its arrival. To improve campus wayfinding and visibility, we have also purchased banners and signs to highlight key areas in the Student Center building. 2 large banners have been placed at the entrance of the building, and smaller signs have been added at the entrances of spaces like the club room and bookstore, ensuring students can easily find and access these resources. I'm proud to share that we are awarding 10 scholarships across 5 categories this year, with 2 recipients per category. The scholarship categories are financial hardship, undocumented student leadership, international student, and pride and identity scholarship. Each recipient will receive $500 to assist with their educational expenses, and we are proud to continue this tradition of investing in our students' future. This year, we are excited to see the return of ASOC elections with an unprecedented 49 candidates running for positions. This reflects the growing interest in student leadership and governance. Voting will take place on April 8th and 9th, and to encourage student participation, we will be hosting an information stand on both days, from 12 to 2 p.m. at the Quad. To educate students on the election process, candidates and Proposition A, which addresses the AC Transit Pass and potential shuttle services for Peralta campuses. iPads will be available on site for students to vote in place, and we will also be providing food to further engage students. We are committed to making sure students understand how important it is to use their voices, especially during these hard times of program changes and class mergers. Campus accessibility is key for our students. Additionally, 9 Laney College students will attend the SSCCC General Assembly, ensuring our students' voices are represented at the statewide level. Also, we're excited to host a basketball tournament on April 25th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. in the Laney Gym. It's open to all Peralta students and also Laney College faculty and staff. We will be providing free snacks, and we invite everyone to come, watch, and be part of the energy. Before I conclude, I would like to take a moment to express our appreciation for some of the positive changes happening across Peralta and Laney College. We appreciate the implementation of the Peralta Safety and Security app, which enhances student safety and provides access to key resources. A special thank you to Janice Brown and the Facilities Office for their dedication to the Laney College Beautification Project, and we're also working with Basic Needs Services to expand our food voucher program. We look forward to working with the district to improve campus lighting, and we have had discussions in the past about this issue, and we hope these plans will finally solidify to ensure students feel safe walking on campus, especially during evening hours. ASOC remains committed to advocating for students, extracting engagement, and ensuring our voices are heard in decision-making processes. We deeply appreciate the board's continued support and look forward to working together to enhance the student experience at Laney College. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, good evening, Board of Trustees. Thank you for this opportunity. I'm speaking on behalf of the Associated Students of College of Alameda. And here is my report. First, we met with the president of the PFT to discuss the whole budget situation and how it's impacting and will impact our students. We also met with our VP of Instruction, and we discussed students' wants and needs regarding classes on our campus. We attended our participatory governance training, which was held by the Student Senate for California Community Colleges. We also held our candidates meeting, and we currently have 7 candidates, I believe, to be part of the next group of Associated Students of College of Alameda. And we have 8 students going to the SSCCC General Assembly. And that is all for my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other student government reports? Item 3.10, Peralta Classified Senate Report. Is there anyone from the Peralta Classified Senate here to give a report?
There is no report for tonight from PCS.
Item 3.11, District Academic Senate Report. Is there anyone here from the Peralta Academic Senate here to give a report?
There is someone from the District Academic Senate, President Quinlan. Matthew Goldstein from the DAS. First, I'd like to say that my remarks are riddled with typos, so I'll try not to read them. Let me begin by saying how pleased DAS is with the fact that we tenured 13 faculty members this afternoon. As I said at the reception, which was very lovely, by the way, it's my hope that the baker's dozen of the freshly tenured will use the protections of tenure to help defend higher education and the communities that depend on it. I want to say, too, that it's really important to the district that we have full-time faculty, and having more full-time faculty should be fundamental to any strategy we use to rebuild and to serve our students into the future. Next, I just wanted to return briefly to the PBIM and the PBC. The refashioned PBC was launched last month, as you know. It's off to a promising start. I wanted to make clear that the recent round of layoffs, position shutdowns, and cuts to part-time faculty was not something that went through shared governance. That is, the new model is only now getting underway, so it wasn't used to help what we know were very difficult decisions at the board and at the administrative offices. As we said elsewhere, there's reason to be optimistic that having this refreshed shared governance system in place will help prevent such difficult situations in the future. For now, though, we have to get to work and reckon with the consequences of the choices that we've made in the past. Next, I wanted to give you a little update on the last DAS meeting. We want to thank COO/Deputy Chancellor Greg Nelson for coming and engaging robustly with the faculty at the District Academic Senate. Among other topics that Mr. Nelson addressed was facilities, the recent announcement about bookstore closures at the colleges, and of course, the ongoing restructuring efforts. One faculty refrain that bears repeating here is the reply from faculty to the kind of the metaphor that's been used frequently in discussions around the changes, that is pruning to grow, which is a metaphor that the district favors and that faculty appreciate and understand. At the college level, the cuts have come down in sort of a higgledy-piggledy way. And I guess as someone whose sister-in-law is a product of the Merritt horticulture program, I want to say that pruning really requires sensitivity and caution and strategy. It shouldn't be the hacking off of limbs. So as we prune to grow, which is a real, I think, justifiable strategy, we should bear in mind that pruning, as the folks from up the hill would tell us, requires real thoughtfulness. And it's not helpful just to hack off 10 or 15% of a tree's limbs. Finally, I wanted to let folks know that last week, FACT VP Sarah Thompson from Las Positas College, who teaches sociology there, she and I appeared on State of the Bay, a KALW radio program. We were there to talk about the effects of the SCIF on districts like ours. It's a lively conversation. I think it's streamable from the KALW website. And I did manage to squeeze in a few kind of shameless plugs for Peralta. So when there's a big spike in enrollment among NPR types, you can thank me for that. Thanks a lot for your time, and have a good meeting.
Thank you. Item 3.12. We'll now move to public comments. Please remember this portion of public comment is only for items that are not on the agenda. If you have a comment on a public hearing item, please wait for that item to be called to make your comment. Board Clerk, do we have any public comment tonight?
Yes, Board President, we do. First off, we have Robert Crowley.
Can be loud too. Oh no, that's way louder. My name is Robert Crowley, and I'm an instructor and a coach at Laney College. I'm also our kinesiology, athletics, sport, fitness, and health, or as we call it, CASH, department co-chair. I'm coming to you today with concern for how we're moving forward with some of the decisions to lay off personnel that are vital to the health of our campus. I understand major changes need to happen in order to save our district and get us back to the thriving heart of the Oakland, Berkeley, and Alameda communities that we once were. But I'm worried about the direction we're going in when making these decisions. It recently came to our attention that the decision was made to lay off 2 PE attendant positions at our Laney College campus that directly affects the department that I'm in charge of. This was done without consulting or getting advice from our department, athletic director, or anyone else that works directly with these 2 individuals. The PE attendants play a major role, excuse me, in our ability to host in-person classes within our CASH discipline. They're in charge of the setup and takedown of many of our ATHL, KIN, and SPFT courses. They give out and take care of equipment used in the classes and help provide a clean and stable environment for our students to learn in. Most importantly, they're responsible for the monitoring our women's and men's locker rooms on the main campus. These locker rooms are used for our fitness center, women's basketball, swimming, and water polo teams, and students in our dance classes. And use of these locker rooms also keeps us compliant with California Ed Code 76011, which allows any unhoused student that is enrolled in coursework to use the showers in the facility. Without these positions, we have no one to monitor our locker rooms. Without locker rooms, it's extremely difficult to have a fitness center, which is used by almost 300 students on a daily basis, fitness classes, athletic teams, and dance classes in a way that's safe for our students. If you talk with our instructors that have classes around the gym or in the fitness center, they're worried about the lack of support, as there have been past incidents when PE attendants have found people waiting to harass students in the locker room when they come in and use the facility. It makes it difficult for the faculty and coaches that work on the main campus to maintain a safe environment, as they cannot manage the locker room and teach a class or run a practice at the same time, putting the college and our staff in a position of failure and possible lawsuit. The PE attendant roles keep our students safe and keep our community together. And roles like these, in my opinion, are the true faces of the campus in our district, as they have in-person contact with our students and community on a day-to-day basis. They are the individuals that get to know the campus community on a personal level and make our colleges special. I'm asking that when we move forward with these major
20
changes,
seconds.
we keep our students, thank you, and the staff and surrounding community a priority. We have to be students first and provide our students with an experience and education that they deserve. We have to move forward in a way that doesn't compromise the product that should be for the community, rather than just looking at cutting costs and greatly compromising our student experience. And losing these PE attendants totally compromises the experience that we wish to provide our students. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Next, we have Raimundo Vaughn. Raimundo Vaughn. Next, we have Roberto Gonzalez.
Hello, my name is Ramondo Vaughn. I am the Director of Athletics at the College of Alameda, and I'm also the women's basketball coach at Laney College. I've heard that there's consideration in removing our locker room attendants. At Laney, I'm not sure how many of you have been to the locker rooms, but we're situated below the majority of the campus, and it's dark right next to the gym. And at least for me, as the women's basketball coach, the removal of the locker room attendant would be a huge mistake. We get, for our women's basketball team, I get young women from all over the Bay Area, out of state at times, and one of the biggest issues I hear when recruiting is, I'm not sending my daughter to school in Oakland. is something that I deal with all the time. And and because the perception is the safety issue. And when I speak to those parents, I say, I understand your concerns, but here's what we do to try to mitigate some of those concerns. Now, when it comes to the use of the locker room, my office is right next to the gym and in between both locker rooms. And we get quite a few interesting characters that roam our campus, right? And if we were to remove the locker room attendants, I can tell you with great certainty that my female student athletes would not use those locker rooms. When you go into those locker rooms, you go down a long hallway, and that hallway is dark already. And then the locker room, the showers, the restroom area, it's deep in the back area there. If those young women are back there using the restrooms, using the showers, and there's no attendant there, on our campus, people roam freely, they walk freely. People are able to walk into those locker rooms, use the locker rooms. And if something were to happen in that locker room with no attendant, one of those young women are using the restroom, there's nobody to scream to help for. If you go in those locker rooms and you go back to where the showers are, where the restroom stalls are, if you scream help, help at the top of your lungs, nobody's going to hear you.
20 seconds.
Okay? The safety issue is of paramount concern to me as a father, as a person who coaches these young women. I would not feel safe allowing these young women to go in this restroom area, this locker room area. If anything is to happen, there's nobody there to help them. So if you're going to take away the attendance, why are we even going to have locker rooms?
Time is up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is Roberto Gonzalez.
Just a point of order. I've got a couple of people who wish to cede their time to me. I'm not going to need all that time, but if we could just take care of that before we start, is that good with the board?
Can you please list the names who are ceding their time? Because I don't have any cards here that.
Yes, we have Sylvia Espinosa and Dolores Harshaw.
Sylvia I have and,
Dolores Harshaw.
okay, you're good
Thank
to
you.
go.
Great. I won't need all the time. Well, good evening, Board of Trustees, Chancellor Gilkerson, colleagues, students, and members of the community. My name is Roberto Gonzalez. I'm here tonight representing SEIU. A lot to say and not enough time. But I'll begin by stating that at the February 25th study session held at Berkeley City College 2 weeks ago, it was the collective hope to not approve Resolution 158 to immediately lay off staff, because that resolution, as written, is deeply flawed, both in its content and timing. My point is less about those who authored the resolution, but rather the community's expectation of our trustees modeling trust and credibility. That trust, which you violated on full display during the evening of February 25th, by your failure to truly listen and your failure to ask relevant, probing questions of Chancellor Gilkerson to ensure your own goal of good stewardship over the fiscal and physical resources and assets was upheld. My goal tonight is to demonstrate to our Board of Trustees that the Peralta community was listening to you on February 25th and will continue listening, because as Trustee Gonzalez-Ewan said, that night, the buck stops here. One good thing that we heard on February 25th is the objective of using the resignation incentive as a short-term strategy to implement reduction in force to assist with meeting next year's budget shortfall. We like that. No surprises. Good faith collaboration between administration and labor groups. However, to our chagrin, Vice President Gonzalez Brito tossed a slow softball question to the chancellor regarding enrollment strategy plans. An untimely ancillary question devoid of relevance to the issue of whether Resolution 158 was rooted in facts, thoughtful strategy, good business sense, and sincere in its assumptions. A better question might have been, have we first entertained other strategies to mitigate the need for such sudden layoffs? That's what was being asked during public comment on February 25th. Trustee Johannes, frankly, your wounded leg analogy was awful and the talk of the town for days. But since you used that analogy, let us ask ourselves whether Peralta's wounded leg was ever cleaned and dressed, whether a tight tourniquet was ever applied. As we all know, that was an old wound. This is a wound that preceded most of you, but you nevertheless, it continued to fester on your trustee watches, allowing the wounded leg to go wholly untreated for years and even decades. And then to liken the condition of Peralta as us being frogs in a slow boil water, no thank you. Trustee Napoli Abela Reese, I wish I could say good job with the data, but the percentages you cited were unhelpful and misleading. These percentages do not account for the disparity in employee group cuts, that is, the number of vacancies in faculty and management positions versus the number of occupied, classified positions by living human beings and their families. If, as you suggested on February 25th, that we talked and ruminated over it for so long, then shame on you for letting Peralta's bleeding leg go untreated until amputation is the only option. Trustee Dolphin Polk, sorry, but stating that this decision was not made lightly, please take some responsibility. You asking about the savings with respect to our use of contractors is way too late and way too little, let alone something that many of us have repeatedly raised over the years, and nothing that could stop the bleeding at this juncture. Board President Quinlan, while an occasional dose of Bill Clinton tropes specific to feeling one's pain is appreciated, you missed the point of the February 25th study session. You went on to even commend Chancellor Gilkerson to move forward with cuts or with cutting positions, but without consideration to invoking our governance processes or employ other options. I can understand that carving out time to adequately comprehend the resolution and supporting documentation in order to ask meaningful questions can be daunting, but that's your job, and you failed to do that job. So allow me to summarize what you apparently missed during public comment specific to your approval of Resolution 158. 3 items here. Sorry, Braille is bulky. Number 1, The 15 years of missteps by management is just as much management's fault as it is yours and your trustee predecessors. You have or had the power to insist upon corrective actions long ago. Simply stating that we need to change this district is fundamentally, at best, it's fundamental at best, but far short of the expectation and power vested in you by the voters. Lastly, several employees, including me, spoke of implementing reasonable alternatives and intentions long before February 21st layoffs, but our trustees never responded beyond claims of feeling our pain. I implore you all to call me so that I, a seasoned classified professional at Peralta, ensconced in years of district governance and union work, could bring our brightest and most talented to the table. I'm still waiting for those calls. Trustee Gonzalez-Ewan, claiming that we are doing everything we can figure out how to do, is either an uninformed statement or worse. Having served on the board for 20 years and not being able to positively influence the decision makers that led up to this brutal, as you put it, place might indeed be a telltale sign to
20 seconds.
pass the baton. I'm going to conclude by saying thank you, Trustee Gonzalez-Ewan, for reminding us that the Board of Trustees represents the community and it is accountable. Given what occurred on February 25th, you all can take as a lesson from the student trustees
Time is up.
Parmigiani and Byrne. They listened, they responded on point, and they voted with their conscience. They were
Your
obvious.
time is up.
There was obviously politics at play that night. Make no mistake that the sausage making smelled bad, even if you couldn't hear and see the audience on YouTube. So let me end on a positive note. Let's commit to listening better and working harder, smarter, and together. Please, let's not make this mistake in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Louis Martirez, followed by Jamil Tier.
Good evening, students, board members, chancellor, presidents, faculty, and SEIU. And I'm here today to say I'm concerned about our culture. I'm concerned about the cuts. And before I continue, I just want to say I am from College of Alameda. I'm a project manager for EOPS, CARE, CalWorks, Next Up, and Salam Learning. I care about our district, but I am in a position that many of you are now deciding how cuts will be made, and classified are going to be doing many things with many hats. As I noted, I do 5 programs. When I came on board, I was the only person doing 5 programs among my sister colleges. They have a coordinator for each program, EOPS, CARE, CalWorks, and so forth. While it's not ideal, we all have commitments to do good for our students. And I was committed to EOPS because I'm an alumni of EOPS, but I'm also a product of Los Medanos Community College as a dual enrolled student. And I want you to think about when we look at cuts, and I know that they're necessary because I've been in the district for 10 years and I worked in the budget office here, and I was your budget analyst under 2 vice chancellors. And I noted that there needed to be cuts and they were going to be hard. But I want you not to forget that the people that you cut and the people that remain are people and they're human. And the very thing that the chancellor said is we are planting seeds and roses are growing in cements. Please encourage, as we make and we discuss hard things through the governance process, that we need to cultivate a new culture that is viable, that is strong, and that we have purposeful meetings and discussion. Because oftentimes our governance structure, while it's new, we need to have wider discussions both on Flex Day, both at classified, academic, in ways that we talk about when we're looking change, how do we make it better? Do we look at economies of scale? The other thing that I wanted to address is that many of my colleagues, both in February and now today, is looking purposely, like, think about how you're making the cuts. I've worked in the budget office, but also prior to me coming on board here, I was a manager and I worked at the Office of Management and Budget in the White House during the Clinton administration. And I recognized the cuts that they were making
20
then.
seconds.
And I wanted to say, please look at alternative, look at your categorical funds, and look at it in a way that is not supplanting, but another venue by which people can land softly, both classified as well as faculty. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you cede your time to Roberto Gonzalez?
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
So
and I
then,
think Jeff's gonna see this time to me.
so Jeff's not speaking, then he's, okay.
Good evening. You've heard from me before, so hopefully no introduction is needed, but my name is Jamil Tier. I am the Vice President of SEIU 1021 and also a longtime member of the district office. We're here talking to you today because we are still in the midst of cuts and we need you guys to work with us. Shortly after the February 25th board meeting, SEIU wrote an RFI to the district to be able to get more information about the cuts that had been approved by the board. You see, before that, we had not had any real conversations about it. We were unaware of the cost savings, we were unaware of the positions and really what the cuts will look like. We are still looking forward to having those conversations. For those of you unfamiliar with the practice of seniority and bumping, what happens is if someone's been here for 20 years and have had several positions, they may not be the person, even though their position is cut, they may not be the person going out the door. The person going out the door is the person in the same title with the least seniority. So even though some of the cuts have been made to positions that aren't necessarily student-facing, it doesn't mean that these cuts won't approach or affect any of our students, and that's our concern. We look forward to being able to work with all of you to be able to figure out how we can least affect the student success rate here and least affect the student environment. Thank you for showing up tonight. It's hard work and we've all got to do it, but we look forward to truly having those conversations so that we can figure out what this looks like.
Thank you.
Next, we have Richard Tholey, followed by Azul Lewis.
Good evening. I'm Azul Lewis. I work at BCC. I'm SEIU chapter treasurer and site steward. I'm here to comment on the layoffs from Resolution 158. More than half of the employees who are about to receive notice this week are classified represented by SEIU. I recently described a 2022 salary study covering positions of around 60% of our members, with almost half of those found to have top steps of Peralta below the average bottom step of the Bay 10. The list of employees to lay off includes instructional and staff assistants, both flagged in that study. Other positions not included in the study can earn similar pay or even less. More than 2/3 of our members being cut earn pay in that range, and some have for many years. The across-the-board percentage increases since 2022 have had the most impact for the top of the pay scale, not the bottom. I know we all hear about low pay at Peralta, but entire staircases of pay with zero overlap to your peers in the Bay 10 is something different. It affects your ability to absorb something like a layoff. Your savings, debt, pension if you have one, are all based on your decision to work as classified at Peralta. Everyone on this list will lose job security, and more than a third of our members will also lose their health care. Peralta classified are not extra limbs needing to be cut off. They're part of our community with a wealth of institutional knowledge. Many of them have watched for years as frequent turnover in leadership failed us. And now they'll pay the price of that failure. So I hope the district will do whatever is necessary to minimize loss of livelihood and find alternatives for classified who have bet on Peralta for years. Thank you.
Thank you.
Richard
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Richard Tholey, Chapter President for SEIU 1021 at Peralta. Dear members of the Board of the Trustees, I'm speaking today to express my concern regarding the recent layoffs of several classified staff members and the decision to approve significant travel expenditures over $35,000 during a time of fiscal uncertainty. These decisions have left many in our community questioning the priorities of the district in such a challenging financial climate. Many are troubled by the over $35,000 spent on travel during this time of uncertainty. While professional development and collaboration are important, these expenditures could be reconsidered in favor of prioritizing resources that directly benefit our students and staff. In a time when we are cutting staff, we should be ensuring that every dollar spent is maximizing value for the entire district community. Now, if you haven't yet realized it, classified staff are essential to the day-to-day functioning of our district. Our dedication, expertise, and hard work support our students, faculty, and management directly and indirectly in countless ways. So it is difficult to reconcile the layoffs of these employees with the fact that many of those in classified positions only earn between $50,000 to $100,000 annually. This is particularly concerning when we look at the salaries of management personnel who, as evidenced by today's approval, all make over $100,000, most approaching $200,000, with the handful earning over $200,000. Meanwhile, the head of our district is paid approximately $400,000 a year. In light of these salary discrepancies, I must ask, has the board or individual managers ever considered lowering, donating, or relinquishing a portion of these high salaries to help the district stay afloat? Given the financial strain we're experiencing, it seems reasonable to question whether such an approach could be part of the solution to our fiscal challenges. A gesture like this could go a long way toward demonstrating solidarity with our staff and students, while helping to ensure that vital services and positions are preserved. Moreover, the history of mismanagement, administrative turnover, and fiscal ineptness, here I'm recalling the two recent FICMAT reports and fiscal monitor appointed by the state's chancellor's office, the failure to properly address the OPEB funds, all these raise serious concern about the board's stewardship of the district's resources.
20 seconds.
Can I get someone to see their time?
I have only 2 cards here.
Jamie Redmond?
I don't have a Jamie Redmond. I have a Mark Lipsy or an Angela Kimball.
You see their time? Thank you.
Who's seated?
Angela Kimball.
Thank you.
Although we're on a slightly different trajectory now, the trustees must be held accountable for any ongoing mismanagement, as the responsibility for these issues ultimately lies with you. The buck stops with the board, as one of the board members stated. Even in recent years, we have seen leadership changes and decisions that seem to have exacerbated rather than address our financial struggles. We must hold the trustees responsible for the lack of transparency and failure to address past mistakes, as they control the decision-making process. As stewards of the district, the board must be held to account for the choices made under their watch and their lack of proactive measures to prevent financial instability. This lack of continuity and poor financial planning have directly impacted our ability to maintain a balanced budget, preserve jobs, and prioritize services for our students. The board must be held accountable for not ensuring a stable, well-planned financial strategy, which has resulted in harm to students, staff, and the district's overall financial health. While I understand that decisions like these are not easy, I again urge the board to explore alternative ways to address our financial situation rather than making cuts that disproportionately affect our staff and students. I ask that you consider salary reductions or other contributions from higher paid management to support the district's fiscal health. Furthermore, I ask the board take a hard look at its own accountability for the financial mismanagement that has led us to this point and take steps to ensure the future decisions are made with greater responsibility and consideration for the impact on our students and staff. Thank you for your time and consideration. I hope the board will take these concerns to heart and make decisions that truly reflect the best interests of our students, staff, and community. And I want to recognize the 2 student trustees for your previous vote. Thank you and have a good night.
Thank you.
Lastly, we have Mark Lispy.
I wanted to also thank the student trustees for their vote last meeting, showing a spine and a conscience, unlike the rest of the trustees. And I think we should have a much more honest conversation, as many of the last speakers have highlighted. The chancellor and the trustees have come to us with this story that we've done everything we can to keep cuts away from classified, away from the classroom, as possible, and we've reached this surgery moment, as one of the trustees mentioned, and we just have to cut, and we feel bad for you. We know it. Many of you are gonna lose your job, but we're just at this point, and we've reached nothing else we can do, and that's just not true. Okay, as the last speaker has said, if this is an emergency and we've reached a fiscal cliff, then who's going to be the ones to decide who's going off the cliff, right? And I agree that discussion hasn't been honest, right? You came up with this list, bragged about the 20 admin positions, 9 of which were vacant. That's not nothing to brag about. That's a cut that was already going to be made if it's vacant, right? So when we look at the salaries, when we look at the costs of the district, not including the classified staff, but the costs of the district, it ranks number 2 among the 4, it's higher than 3 of the colleges, right? So the quantity of funds that have been poured into the district over the years which includes salary increases at the admin level. And if we want to reduce redundancy, if we want to put everything on the table and make an incision and carry out an amputation, we should decide who we're going to amputate and what salaries we're going to amputate, and we cut those salaries from the top. Are the trustees willing to forfeit their health care? Are they willing to forfeit their stipend? Let's put everything out there and discuss a real surgery that actually prioritizes our classified staff and our students, because what you're coming up with is a downward spiral, right? The next thing you're going to come up with is, well, we've tried everything we can do. Now we have to close a school down. We're going to merge a school. And and then what this is going to do is going to downward spiral, less classes, right? Less full-time enrolled students. And this is not the way to do it. And so until we have a real honest discussion, if you're going to be up there and you all voted as if your minds were already made up, that's insulting to our intelligence. Just be honest with us. Declare that this is going to be a real political fight that you want. You're going to carry out these cuts because your minds are made up, then let it be clear. Don't sit there and give us a sob story, because this is not true. It's dishonest. This is not the only way to make these cuts, and nothing close to a real discussion about cutting from the top to protect all the staffs. We should say absolutely no cuts to classified, no cuts to our classes, no cuts that impact our students, and the vast majority of these cuts need to start at the top, at the admin. We can reduce admin positions even further. We can reduce admin salaries. That's what it looks like to carry out this surgery if it's a real emergency and you prioritize students, classified, and faculty and the staff to make this district run.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone who made time to address the board during public comments. Item 3.13, we'll now hear from the Chancellor for her report.
Thank you, Board President. Good evening, everyone. Bring up the slides, please. This afternoon, we celebrated the accomplishments of 13 hardworking faculty members who are up for tenure tonight. I want to thank Sabrina Manrique, Staff Assistant in Educational Services, Vice Chancellor Vasconcelos, the Marketing Communications Team, and Laney Catering for an outstanding event. Think of tenure as a crucible, a redefining experience, a refining experience. It's a journey of deep introspection, of rigorous peer review, and most importantly, of listening to the voices of our students. It's a testament to their ability to adapt, to innovate, and to consistently strive for excellence. And from what I heard tonight from our college presidents, they haven't just met the standard, they've raised them. I want to acknowledge the community of support from family, friends, and coworkers, but also recognize the college tenure review coordinators and their individual tenure committees. Thank you. Before the board takes action tonight, I'd like to recognize the tenure candidates one more time. Berkeley City College, Nima Najafi Kayanfar, Adriana Dri Regalado, College of Alameda, Didam Akichi, Joshua Rose, from Laney College, Safo Su, Javier Valencia, Judy Wong, Latanya Carpenter, Erica Williams, Susan Yee, Min An Win, and from Merritt College, Taslima Rahim and Lizette Dominguez. Congratulations to our 13 tenure candidates who are up for tonight. Great. The Peralta Colleges are home to many extraordinary individuals who consistently exceed expectation in their service to students, employees, and the community. In January of 2024, I introduced the whimsically named Flying Pig Awards to celebrate such achievements, those that defy expectations and embody the true spirit of Peralta. The first cohort of Flying Pig Award recipients were honored in May 2024, and tonight it is my pleasure to honor the second cohort of Flying Pig awardees. So let me start first with saying that we went out and got nominations from across the district. And so there were many candidates who were incredibly brilliant and doing amazing things in our district. It was very hard to choose, but I'm pleased tonight to honor 7 wonderful colleagues in our community. First of all, I'm going to start with our student, Muse Tariku. So Muse, I just first of all want to thank you for the remarkable contributions you've made to supporting the Office of Student Life at Laney College, where you excel as a student worker, being warm, professional, and hardworking. You actively support the success of each student and often stay late to help them with issues. Your collaborative work with colleagues and thoughtful recommendations for improvement have elevated the standard of excellence and improved campus resources. And I've had the pleasure of seeing Muse at multiple events where he's helped support the things. So Muse, on behalf of, this is your Flying Pig Award. So. Next up is Kalinda Stevens. Kalinda is a student from College of Alameda. So, Kalinda, I want to thank you for your resilience, dedication, and service in the College of Alameda EOPS and SAS program. As an EOPS peer mentor, you've made a lasting impact by guiding and supporting adult and parenting students, easing their transition back into education, and connecting them to vital resources. Your experience in inventory management has also led to significant improvements in EOPS program operations. Through your leadership, compassion, and innovation, you are transforming the student experience, and we couldn't be more proud. Thank you so much. Next up is Judy Adams. Judy? So Judy, I want to thank you for your amazing dedication to students and employees through your work coordinating the EOPS program at Merritt College. In addition to your oversight of budget and managing program logistics, students are always your top priority. You have the unique skill of listening and hearing students' underlying concerns and immediately working towards solving their problems. Moreover, you actively support the staff with training and support, creating an environment where they enjoy coming to work. We're so grateful for your years of dedicated service to the district. Next up is Terry Antonio. Terry, I want to thank you for your dedication, expertise, and leadership. Your experience in IT and payroll ensured a seamless transition as interim payroll director at a crucial time. Your tireless work to improve systems, particularly something called HCM that we call it here, right? I think it's human capital management, the little icon on the thing. But particularly that is evidence of your selflessness and commitment to excellence. Your hard work as a team player brings joy and motivation to those around you, and you filled in as a utility player in so many places, and so grateful for your service to the district. Thank you so much. Next up is Drew Burgess. Drew, well, I love coming to everything that you do at College of Alameda. But first of all, I wanted to say thank you for your unwavering dedication to the arts and education at College of Alameda, which has transformed the campus and district. Through your vision and advocacy, you've created a public art gallery, improved studio spaces, and brought vibrant murals and exhibitions to life, making art accessible to all. Your leadership extends beyond the classroom, chairing departments, serving on academic senates, and volunteering tirelessly. With grace, a lot of grace and patience, and passion for equity and social justice, you embody the collaborative spirit and commitment to excellence. Thank you so much for your service, and congratulations. So unfortunately, Roger Chung, I believe, was here and had to leave. But I want to just take the time to honor Roger. And while I do this, I'll just take a moment, a privilege to say how grateful I am to the Laney College Fab Lab and Holly for the support in helping craft and make this design award. So it's handcrafted here in the district as a recognition of good work. So Roger, I apologize. I know you wanted your son to receive the award. I'm sorry that that was happened. So I'm going to make a way to come and make sure your son gets it. But we want to thank you, Roger Chung, for your visionary leadership for the ROCK program, which is transforming lives and setting a statewide standard for supporting currently and formerly incarcerated students, and really providing support for justice impacted students and their families. Guided by the belief that education is freedom and revolution, you fostered a thriving program where students earn degrees, transfer, and secure meaningful employment. Through partnerships with Alameda County Education, Juvenile Justice, Clean Slate, and more, ROCK's impact, restoring our community, ROCK's impact extends beyond the classroom, empowering individuals and communities. So please join me in congratulating Roger Chung. And finally, we're going to honor Marcus Creel. So Marcus took a bunch of pictures today and actually had them on the chancellor's slide. I mean, that's how dedicated Marcus is. So I just want to say that first of all. Marcus, thank you for your outstanding contributions as a graphic designer and your dedication to fostering a positive collaborative culture at the Peralta Community College District. Your award-winning design work, including the 2024 CC Pro First Place for the Chancellor Search brochure, reflects your exceptional talent and creativity. It totally changed my mind about applying for the position too. Beyond your impressive professional achievements, you are known for your teamwork and swift delivery on tight deadlines. You also play a pivotal role in revitalizing the district's culture, organizing events like the Winter Holiday Potluck and monthly bicycle rides that bring together colleagues from across departments. Your commitment to community extends to your care for the district's TV dish garden, which you maintain and share with coworkers, consistently going above and beyond, improving Peralta's environment and making it a better, more engaging place for both staff and students. Congratulations. Thank you. Yep. So if we could get all of the awardees to come up, we'll take a group picture. And first of all, then let me just end by saying congratulations to all the Flying Pig Award winners. Your dedication aligns perfectly with our mission of advancing social and economic transformation for students and community through quality education rooted in equity, social justice, environmental sustainability, and partnerships. Your unwavering commitment inspires us all. By metaphorically making pigs fly, you epitomize the exceptional individuals who make Peralta a truly special community, and I'm deeply grateful for each of you.
At the end of your report, Chancellor?
Yep, no. I have a lot to say. We wanted to make sure we were able to do that before folks had to leave. So first, a little bit of catch up with an excellent example of thought leadership in the form of an article co-authored by Berkeley City College President, Dr. Denise Richardson, which was published in Diverse Issues in Higher Education magazine in December. President Richardson and her co-author, Dr. Alfred McQuarters, president of Los Angeles Trade Technical College, wrote AB 705, Bold Policy Implications for Equitable Student Success, a policy designed to increase community college students' access to transfer-level math and English courses by eliminating remedial placement. The article calls for a shared equity leadership approach, emphasizing collaboration, courage, and a commitment to student outcomes. Dr. Richardson advocates for continuous improvement, urging colleges to measure success by student achievement rather than policy compliance, while highlighting the importance of creating supportive educational ecosystems that empower all students, regardless of background, to thrive in transfer-level courses. The article was published as part of a series, Behind the Desk, Perspectives of Black Community College CEOs, which is a column co-created and co-edited by Dr. David M. Johnson, president of Merritt College. More catch-up. Early this year, I had the honor of participating in a panel discussion recorded as part of the State Chancellor's Educate, Elevate podcast series. I was proud to participate along with Dr. J. Luke Wood, Sacramento State University president, Pamela Haynes, former Los Rios Community College District trustee and California Community College Board of Governors member, Joya Miller, Mount San Jacinto College biology student, and the panel discussion was moderated by Dr. Abdi Malik Bull, visiting executive institutional equity, innovation, and strategic impact at the California Community College's Chancellor's Office. The panel explored California's new Black Serving Institution, BSI designation, Senate Bill 1348, signed into law by Governor Gavin Newsom, which allows community colleges with a substantial Black student population of 10% or at least 1,500 students to seek BSI status. Berkeley City College, College of Alameda, Laney College, and Merritt College all meet the eligibility criteria to apply for the designation. We had such a lively discussion. It was split into 2 different episodes, both of which are now available on your favorite audio streaming platforms, and you can also see it via YouTube. To say my heart is full is an understatement. What a fantastic 49th Annual Association of California Community Colleges Administrators Conference held in Monterey last month. As some of you may know, I currently serve as the board of the association president. It was a privilege to be in community with the system's administrators, learning, growing, and celebrating in service to our mission, student success, and strengthening our institutions. It was nice to be in community with several people from the Peralta Colleges too, including Natalie Rodriguez from COA, who completed the Great Dean's Training Program. As I said in my opening remarks, these are turbulent times, and I know many in our system are feeling the weight of current events, particularly the political climate surrounding the assault on undocumented communities, immigrant rights, trans justice, reproductive freedom, diversity, equity, inclusion initiatives, public service, and higher education. However, I am reminded of a powerful quote from Let This Radicalize You, which is, quote, "Hope is not a lottery ticket you can sit on a sofa and clutch, feeling lucky. Hope is an axe you break down doors with in an emergency," unquote. We are in an emergency, but we are not powerless. Hope is our tool, our strategy, and our resolve. We must use it to break down barriers and build bridges for our students, no matter the opposition we faced. More thought leadership. On February 24th, 2025, Merritt College President Dr. David M. Johnson demonstrated more Peralta thought leadership by joining host Dave Clark and fellow guest leadership consultant Tracy Webb on KTVU's Talk of the Town program. President Johnson and Ms. Webb were asked to discuss the new United States presidential administration and in particular efforts to do away with diversity, equity, and inclusion or DEI policies and programs, referencing a memo from the U.S. Department of Education. President Johnson was his usual eloquent self as he explained the cultural, social, and personal importance and indeed the humanity of those programs. I encourage you to watch when you have a chance. He was an excellent representative for the Merritt College community and our district as a whole. February was a particularly good month for the Peralta Colleges in terms of media coverage, with each of the colleges getting mentioned. We just heard about President Johnson's episode of Talk of the Town, which media monitoring services estimated had a live reach of 1.23 million viewers. Laney College was mentioned in an article about the Oakland Roots Soccer Club posted on Yahoo Sports with a reach of 21 million readers. And I'm particularly pleased that Laney College and our tiny home construction program was written about in the U.S. Sun newspaper with a 16.5 million readership. Grammy Award-winning College of Alameda faculty member Glenn Pearson was featured in a program called Jazz, Music, and Technology, a Black Historical Perspective on Player FM, and with a perspective 624,000 listeners. Berkeley City College's multimedia program is mentioned in the article in the Oakland side with nearly 250,000 readers, while BCC Student was featured in an article on MSN.com with an estimated 123 million reach. And finally, back to Merritt College for the biggest story of this month, which ran in multiple outlets, including ESPN.com, MSNBC, which was Merritt College alum Percy Miller, better known as rapper and record producer Master P, has taken the job at the University of New Orleans as president of basketball operations. Congratulations, Percy, and best wishes on your new role. As District Academic Senate President Dr. Matthew Goldstein mentioned, we got coverage from KALW with an estimated audience of 32,000 NPR types. We call them, I be one of them, who we hope are enrolling thanks to Matthew's pitch. And the good news continues. Just today, we learned that a former Berkeley City College international student, Jijiao Huang, was subject of an article in Bingyu News, the newspaper from Binghamton. Did I say it right? Woo! Binghamton. No? Binghamton. I knew it was on the tips of my tongue. Thank you for the lob, my friend. Binghamton University in New York. She is majoring in African studies with the plans to pursue a doctoral degree in global health after graduating this spring. So it's great to see our students on and doing other things. And I gotta just say, congratulations. The Peralta Citizen team returned from the National Association of Collegiate Presses and the Journalists Association of Community Colleges joint conference in Long Beach with an exceptional collection of awards, marking one of their most successful showings to date. Congratulations to the student journalists. The team was recognized in many of the following categories: column writing, Tamara Copes, enterprise investigative story, Lee Kahn and Lila Schmendel, editorial, Lee Kahn and the All Citizen staff, opinion story, Elliot Fain and Desmond Migley, informational graphic, wow, this is a long list of awards, Lila and Lee, photo illustration, Desmond again, and furthermore, 2 of Laney's students, co-editors in chief, Lila Schmendel, Permana, and Desmond Megley were awarded prestigious JACC scholarships. This is a remarkable achievement as only 5 scholarships were granted statewide. Congratulations also to Laney College journalism professor Eleni Gassis, the sponsor of the Citizen. I often talked about thought leadership, and she's another example of Peralta people in statewide leadership roles by serving as a member of as the president of the board of directors for JACC, the Journalism Association of Community Colleges. Please join me in congratulating the Peralta Citizen team for their outstanding accomplishment. I'm pleased to share that Trustee Bill Withrow, a proud veteran of the U.S. Navy, and I went on a whirlwind tour that included visits to all 4 of the Veterans Resource Centers in our district. It was great to meet the Veterans Resource Coordinators, including Jejun Bertosa at BCC, LaShawn Brumfield at COA, Tania Mitchell at Laney College, and Tina Humphrey at Merritt. We enjoyed their hospitality and learning more about the services provided. The Veterans Resource Centers support active duty personnel, veterans, and their eligible dependents in pursuing their education and accessing veterans benefits. We offer guidance and financial assistance to qualified veterans and their dependents who are eligible through the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Throughout each semester, the VRC certifies enrollment and tracks academic progress, notifying the VA of any updates. And I got to just say, it was so great to visit each place, but we were really just so impressed by the student veterans that we got to talk with at Merritt College too, sharing their journey and getting us an idea of real things that we can do statewide in the system as our trustee serves on the statewide board representing veterans. So I want to thank again the colleges for the opportunity to come. On Friday, February 28th, we had a wonderful district-wide Lunar New Year event celebration at the District Service Center. I was pleased to be joined by Trustee Nikki Gonzalez-Yuen and Board President Louis Quinlan as we celebrated the Year of the Snake. Volunteers served culinary delights from across the Asian diaspora, including treats from South Korea, Vietnam, Malaysia, Cambodia, China, and Mien, peoples of Southern China and Southeast Asia, including Thailand and Laos. I want to thank all the staff volunteers that helped put the celebration together, including Chung Wai Chum, Nikki Harita, oh man, my name, Julie Say Chow, Joan Su, Fumi Sayavong, Amy Lee, Christina Tang Rivera, Cynthia Tang, John Wynn, Angela Koo, Susan Kuong, Chan Peasy Hort. And I also want to give a shout out to the students who were there, including Hannah Zhang, Xu Chin Lu, Zavia Chang, and Zhao Ziya Ziya, and Batia Tua. And lastly, Nani Surin Bern Arbati. Celebrating the Year of the Snake together that afternoon was a nice way to finish the week and head into the weekend. On Monday, March 3rd, the Real College California 2025 Basic Needs Survey opened with versions available in English and Spanish. It is so important that all students across the district take this survey. Your voice matters, and the survey is the chance to directly influence the support you receive at your colleges and across the districts. I've been thrilled to work with our 4 incredible basic needs coordinators, Izzy Villanueva from Berkeley City College, Jeremy Simmons from COA, Katrina Santos from Laney College, and Susanna Abaraman from Merritt College, and with Mark Johnson in the marketing department to get the survey out to students. So far, we've sent emails, text messages to students, posted them in Gens, and had an announcement up in Canvas, and have shared college-branded flyers in both English and Spanish with the colleges. Their survey is open through March 28th. Students who participate and provide their contact information qualify for a drawing that includes multiple gift cards, so the odds of winning are really good. There also is a grand prize of $250 gift card, but there are plenty of more prizes available. So we really want to please encourage students to take the survey. The Real College California Coalition will be sharing the results in the fall, but the colleges will have access to the data as soon as the survey closes later this month. Next is an update on behalf of Abdul Pridgen, Interim Executive Director of Community Safety. We are proud to announce that the Peralta Safety app is now available for download from Google Play and the Apple App Store. The app provides incredibly useful information, including tips for emergency and non-emergency situation, campus maps, and services provided by the community safety team. In addition to the app, the community safety team has also created a video inspired by collaboration with the student trustees that provides a quick overview of information obtained in the annual security report. The short 2-minute video helps demystify the ASR, the annual security report, and make it even more relevant and useful for students and employees on our campuses. March 2nd through the 8th was Women in Construction Week, an opportunity to encourage more women to seek opportunities in the construction trades. I was absolutely thrilled to participate along with Berkeley City College President Dr. Denise Richardson in the filming of a really powerful 5-minute video celebrating women-led construction projects for the Milvia Street building at BCC. It's a 5-minute video and very powerful, and I'd like to play it for you now. This is a project we can be really proud of.
In our history, we stand as indisputable evidence that women are absolutely needed in education, in design, and in construction to take us to the next level. My name is Dr. Denise Richardson, president of Berkeley City College. It's really an immense honor to be part of this all-women team, largely because I feel like this is the year of the woman. For many of us, we're all working in roles that weren't always open to women. And as a result of that, we bring with us the collective experience of our families, of the women who came before us in these roles. And we believe that this new facility, we will be able to make a lasting impact on our community.
When I think about women in construction, I really like to broaden it to looking at all diverse perspectives. I think the construction industry is going to benefit from diversity in all factors. I think it's great to celebrate women, but I just want to make sure when we're thinking about that we're thinking about all diversity coming in and providing that benefit. My name is Erin Allred. I am a project executive with XL Construction. I found the most career success when I felt comfortable really being who I was and bringing my unique value to my teams and my projects. I would recommend that you find a way to be as true as you can to who you are as a person, because no matter who you are and what you're doing, if you're staying core to what motivates you and how you interact with folks, you're going to provide the most value in your profession. But I think that's how ultimately you're going to find the best success, being yourself.
I've built my career being surrounded by a bunch of different people, but representation I do think matters, especially for those younger individuals who are figuring out themselves, figuring out what they want to do. Being a part of that and being able to then mentor the next generation is really impactful. I'm Emily Satuda. I am a program director, and I've been on this project specifically for about a year now. Growth happens a lot when you are comfortable, but also pushing the boundary of what you're capable of. So creating that environment where, oh, there is someone like me, and we can thrive and come up with new creative ideas, I think is important.
Watching this building come to life is a culmination of years of work. And I hope that as a student, as a faculty, as a community member, it goes back to that vision of being part of the community, of seeing that you're part of a greater whole, you're connected to something bigger than yourself. My name is Patricia Alarcon, or Patricia Alarcon. I'm a principal at Ratcliffe Architects. What's really been important is for the building to be really welcoming, demystifying what it feels like to go to college. So to do that, we've used a lot of transparency. It's primarily a glass building, and that's very intentional. The building exposes itself. The activities within are kind of celebrated, and hopefully they're inviting students to come in.
I'm really excited about this project, this opportunity to really actually reflect the women who are building this project. Never have you had a project where you have the construction management team, the head of the architect, the college president, the chancellor of the district, and the contractor all being women leaders. And when we look at this, where 11% of women are in the construction field, this is an opportunity to really highlight the expertise and brilliance that women bring to the field and the opportunities that are here in the future for us. My name is Tamil Gelkerson. I'm the proud chancellor of the Peralta Community College District. Our job as educational institutions is also to partner with our construction trades, with those contractors and all of the fields to say, how do we actually bridge that gap and continue to work towards making sure that when they finish their education, they are also feeling welcomed on job sites and in every space and room. And so we make a commitment in our work here to partner with those kind of organizations like Kitchell and others to make sure that women feel supported in their roles and that their education is highly used for projects like this.
To see us get to this point in the project and be where we are today with this amazing team, it means a lot to me because it gives me a lot of hope for the future. It means that we are growing. I'm Camille Rao. I'm a project manager too at Kitchell. When women see themselves in leadership positions in an industry, it says to them, you can do this and you can be a part of this too. And I think the more women leaders that we have in construction, the more women will want to come into the industry and the more women will want to stay in the industry. We can become that standard of what we want to see in the construction industry, how we want women to see themselves in the industry, and how we want women to stay and to grow in this industry.
As I said in the video, with only 11% of women working in construction trades, the fact that women are in charge of this project on the client side, on the contractor and construction side, on the architect side, and the college leadership side. And I also said in my recs, they cut it out, but we're delivering a project in Berkeley to a mayor who is a woman too, and actually a BCC alum is pretty freaking incredible. But it shouldn't be this way. And with the Milvia Street project, a beacon that's risen high in the sky very quickly. Can you remember the groundbreaking? It was like it was yesterday. It's the programs in engineering and construction at the colleges and architecture. We have these programs right here in our district. And so I hope this video and others and seeing this project rise in the sky at the corner, Milvia, I hope we will inspire more women and more students to pursue a career in construction. And finally, I know this is a long board report, but it's been a while. I have some breaking but important news to share with you all. After last week's board meeting, COO Nelson and I had the chance to meet with analysts at 2 of our rating agencies. For Standards & Poor's, which is known as S&P, we maintained our current rating of AA- with a stable outlook for both the GO bond, so our general obligation bond, and the refinance of Measure A. And if you recall, Fitch gave us a negative outlook in September. But I'm pleased to report that they've also maintained our AA-, our AA-, I'm saying it wrong, sorry, AA-, got to get the lingo right, AA- rating, but upgraded us from a negative outlook to a stable outlook. For the community, this represents approximately $14 million in savings that will help reduce the tax burden on our residents in Alameda County. I want to thank the bond management team and our financial advisors who've been an incredible support to this district through the years. But moreover, I want to thank the board for your leadership. Your board goals focused on the long-term fiscal sustainability of this district, and your trust in my leadership and this team is helping move the district forward. And that concludes my report for tonight.
Thank you, Chancellor. So we moved to item 4.1, review of the 2025-2028 Peralta Community College District distance education plan. Is there any discussion on this item? Okay, no discussion. We'll move on to the next item.
I have one question. So I'm noting I was trying to figure out in the report what percentage of our online classes that are purely online are asynchronous versus synchronous versus partially synchronous.
Vice Chancellor Vasconcellos?
I'm not sure at this moment. I know it varies from college to college, but I can get back to you on the information.
Okay. Part of why I'm wondering about that is that the pedagogy is really different, and my guess is that the success rates are really different. And with the increasing use of AI in the world, particularly among our students as they do their homework, having asynchronous instruction just fundamentally changes the entire way that learning is going. So anyway, all right. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee. Item 5.1, public hearing and action. The Peralta Community College District's initial proposal for collective bargaining with Peralta Federation of Teachers. This being the time and date notice, the Board of Trustees will now convene a public hearing to receive public comment regarding the Peralta Community College District's initial proposal for collective bargaining with Peralta Federation of Teachers. Have we received any requests to speak, or is there anyone present who wishes to comment regarding this topic?
No, Board President.
Okay. If there are no comments, I will declare the public hearing closed. Thank you. Item 6.1, Approval of all consent items.
Point of order, Board President, we need
Yes.
an action on this item. A vote.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I apologize. Who was the first vote? Thank you. Student trustee Parmigiani?
Yes.
Student trustee Byrne?
Yes.
Trustee Withrow?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Ewan?
Yes.
Trustee Napoli Bellarice?
Yes.
Trustee Delphine Polk?
Yes.
Trustee Johannes?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Brito?
Yes.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Our consent calendar, item 6.1. Approval of all consent items. Can I now get a motion to approve the consent items?
Move approval. Second.
Student trustee Parmigiani?
Yes.
Student trustee Byrne?
Yes.
Trustee Withrow?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Ewan?
Yes.
Trustee Napoli Bellarice? Trustee Delphine Polk?
Yes.
Trustee Johannes?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Brito?
Yes.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 11.1. Consider second reading and approval of the ACCJC midterm reports from Berkeley City College, College of Alameda, Laney College, and Merritt College. Can I now get a motion to approve item 11.1?
Move approval. Second.
Is there any discussion? No. Can we get a roll call, please?
Student trustee Parmigiani?
Yes.
Student trustee Byrne?
Yes.
Trustee Withrow?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Ewan?
Yes.
Trustee Napoli Bellarice? Trustee Delphine Polk?
Yes.
Trustee Johannes?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Brito?
Yes.
Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item 11.2. Consider approval of a cited letter agreement between the district and the International Union of Operating Engineers Local 39. Can I now get a motion to approve item 11.2?
So moved.
Second.
Who made the initial motion?
Yeah, correct. Ready for roll call?
Yes, thank you.
Student trustee Parmigiani?
Yes.
Student trustee Byrne? Trustee Withrow? Trustee Gonzalez Ewan?
Yes.
Trustee Napoli Bellarice? Trustee Delphine Polk?
Yes.
Trustee Johannes?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Brito? Trustee Quinlan?
Yes.
Motion passes.
So for item 11.6, I have a conflict of interest on this. So VP Gonzalez Brito, will you do this item so I can recuse myself?
Absolutely. So we're on item 11.3. Consider ratification of the payment warrant report for the period covering January 1st, 2025 through January 31st, 2025.
Move approval.
Any discussion? Okay.
Student trustee Parmigiani?
Yes.
Student trustee Byrne?
Yes.
Trustee Withrow?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Ewan?
Yes.
Trustee Napoli Bellarice? Trustee Delphine Polk?
Yes.
Trustee Johannes?
Yes.
Trustee Gonzalez Brito?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, trustee.
Item 12.1, board reports.
Item 12.1, board reports. Was there an item?
I pulled that.
Yeah. Can we now hear reports from the trustees? Go ahead, trustee.
Just a brief follow-up to what the Chancellor talked about in terms of visiting 4 colleges, an hour each, the week of the 24th of February. One of my collateral roles is to co-chair the Caucus of Veterans of the Armed Forces for the Community College League of California. And we have a lot of issues going on, but One of them that stands out is the problem with mental health of our current veterans. It's gone to an extreme. The data that we have received as a caucus is that 25 veterans on average commit suicide every day. There are 48,000 suicides in this country. 9,000 of them are from veterans. And it's not going away. The GI Bill is a major benefit for our veterans to get back into society, living an environmental set that you don't find in the civilian world. And each of the colleges have a very nice, dedicated veteran center, labeled as a veteran center physically, so that the veterans can come and meet with their cohorts, interact with people that understand what they've done and how they've done it. It's I can't remember which college it is, but one of them in the Veteran Center has it labeled up an emergency telephone hotline that I'd never heard of before. It's for the mental health call-in to a central location. So I want to thank our 4 colleges for dedicating the time and showing the enthusiasm and really making a difference, if you will. It's very, very important, and it's gives me as a leadership in the caucus a foundation to interact with my colleagues to ensure that we're spreading this throughout the state of California. We have a lot of veterans in California, and it's very positive. So thank you very, very much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, trustee.
Be very quick. I wanted to give a quick shout out to Merritt College's ASMC. I myself, them, and Delegate Tenzin Chosen were able to attend the March in March last week. It was a great opportunity. We got to hear, and we unfortunately weren't able to secure an appointment with one of the state legislators, but we were able to network as well as support BC or support Peralta as a whole and advocating for educational rights for students in our district as well as the state of California. So thank you.
Any other board members reporting?
I have a few announcements. First, since we weren't able to announce at the last meeting. So first, I want to say back in February when we were online, both Trustee Delphine Polk and I, we were in Washington, D.C. for the ACCT Legislative Summit. What that means is we go to Washington, D.C. and say, hey, legislators, please give us more money, or at least don't stop. But based on this new administration, that's a little tricky situation. We're trying to understand what's going on. And I say that, number one, yes, we spent money to go there, but we're spending money to go there in order to hopefully receive more resources, right? The same way we're kind of unsure of what's going on with the country. The answer was sort of similar throughout. They're waiting. Every day it's a little bit different. Every day there's a little bit more information, and whatever they get, they give to us. So the same way we're a bit in the dark, they're a bit in the dark, wondering which way it will turn. That's the best information we came back with at this moment. The next one I wanted to say is that I was able to go, I want to pull up the email because I don't want to get it incorrect. Bianca Patterson mentioned they're on the USS Hornet, which day was it? A few weeks ago, on February 21st, the USS Hornet, there was a film co-hosted by the producer and author Lisa Perlman and co-director Professor Emeritus Melvin Newton, who would be Newton's brother. There was a documentary on the trial, specifically the actual trial and how it changed the justice system moving forward, because no one really talks about that. And it was more along the lines of choosing the jury, selecting the jury, and how they went about that. So it was very interesting. It was a very interesting event. Thank you to Bianca Patterson for bumping it up and sending another email day of. And that's when I decided to go. And I actually saw President Dixon, College of Alameda there. So it was wonderful to see some Peralta representation. The third, as you know, I'm on the Veteran Commission. And so thank you, Bill, I want to say Bill, Trustee, I can't think of his last name right now, Withrow, thank you, for bringing up the veteran situation, because it was Suicide Prevention Month recently for veterans. And, you know, it went from 19 per day to 22 per day. Now it's 25 suicides per day. We're trying the best we can, at least in Alameda County, to help prevent that. That being said, last month we had our meeting at College of Alameda, and we actually visited the Veterans Center. LaShawn Brumfield was there, and we had a great conversation. She showed us the area, and as I've previously spoken about stand downs that we've held at St. Vincent de Paul, where we bring a lot of resources to Veterans Day of, like, court regarding the unhoused or any court situations they need handled in that moment, veteran affairs, what have you, haircuts, job applications, all of that. We are having another one June 21st, and I've already started to coordinate, I should say, with Ms. Brumfield regarding having a Peralta table as well. So that will be great. And my final note, which I don't think I've said before, I'm also in the Commission on Status of Women. And recently we've discussed revamping the youth commissioner sort of program. Currently it's only for high school students, but since I'm on the subcommittee for the youth program, I'd like to extend it to the age of 21, which everybody seems on board with. We just have to actually enact it. That being said, we haven't done it yet, but I would like to put this out there to get some, at least Peralta student on the youth commission, just to provide their voice, to see what's going on, to see how the city works, or doesn't, or how we can help. So all that to say, if you're interested, 21 and below, Peralta student, my name is Shawit Yohannes. It's at peralta.edu. Please contact me. I can see what we can do as long as that keeps moving forward. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee. Are there any other announcements? So I have a couple. Number one, it is now scholarship season, which means that our students have finished applying for their scholarships through the Peralta Foundation, and we need scholarship readers. If you want to understand what our students go through in achieving their goals, read some of these scholarship applications. It is amazing the things they overcome to be successful and to achieve their success at Peralta. The foundation plays an important role in that. So besides being a reader of these scholarships, I encourage you to donate to the Peralta Foundation and support our students in that way. The second item is last week we had the first meeting of the Board Audit and Budget Committee. And it was the very first time that committee's met. We had a new board charge around that committee, and important information in terms of how we're tracking our budget, important information on how we're tracking our finances, and understanding the audit process, and understanding how the announcements that the chancellor made tonight, where our bond ratings improved, and the money it saves us and allows us to do more with our bond money and with money we get from the support from our community. I think it's an important process to help educate our board, and it was great being there, and I hope more people take advantage of that in the future. That's it. Thank you very much. Oh, announcements. Vice President Gonzalez Brito, can you read any announcements for tonight?
Sure. So the following are the announcements. Love Your Future, finish faster with short-term classes offered at each of the colleges in a wide range of subjects. Visit the Peralta website to start the application or enrollment process. Peralta Community College District celebrates Women's History Month in March. Check the college websites for activities and events. And the Peralta Community College District will be closed on Monday, March 31st, 2025, in observance of Cesar Chavez Day And lastly, the next scheduled meeting of the Board of Trustees will be on Tuesday, April 8th, 2025.
Thank you. And the meeting is now adjourned.